What's up, everybody? How's it going, Brad?
Too bad, man.
That's
Not
all
too
I got
bad
for an
at all.
intro. That's it. I'm spent.
Yeah. Poor Ray's burnt out.
Dude, I am fried, man. I'm absolutely fried. I
Swamped.
can't think straight lately. It feels like everything's just like a blur. It also feels like everything I'm doing
Yeah.
is just not good, you know? Like I'm working on this project that I'll talk more about, but I was just recording some stuff before. I'm like, it feels like none of it's making sense. It's just like, I think my brain is just shot. It's just too much at once.
Yes. Well, and I wonder at that point, like, it's almost better to, like, which I know you don't have much time to do that, but, like, walk away, give it a day, something like that, do a reset.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, it's true. You can get stuck in this, like, repetitive funk that just, like, nothing, just everything you're touching is just not working out. Or it's just not,
right? Yeah, so I recorded 3 of these videos. Just a real quick, and we'll dive into it more. I'm doing recording a new course for Photoshop, teaching Photoshop for wildlife photography. And this time I'm partnering up with the Journal of Wildlife Photography. Really excited about it, but there's a tight deadline on this. And I know I can do the deadline, but like, of course, as always, right, the project's expanded. So there's more to do with it now than I originally thought. And I'm just trying to record it better than my first course. So I'm putting in a little bit more effort there. And I recorded 3 of these lessons yesterday. So I think all in, it was about an hour of me sitting down recording. Didn't have my microphone plugged in.
Oh, are you serious?
Dude, I get done these 3. I copy the videos where they need to go. And then I just go to preview one. I'm like, oh, there's no sound. Let me just turn the volume up. And then I'm like, I look down and the plug is just dangling off the microphone. Like it's plugged in right here, you know, but it wasn't connected into the computer. And I'm like, I mean, I almost smashed my computer. Like that's how I felt, you know?
Yeah. Oh, see, that would be,
So,
I don't know. I think I'd be done. I'd be like, yeah, no, this isn't happening.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's too much effort.
Oh gosh. So anyway, we'll let that
killer.
energy go. We'll go to something more positive with what you've been doing. We see on the screen right here, which is really nice.
Yeah. I was having some. Yeah, I'll dive into the last part, which was something I haven't done in forever. But I was like one morning over the weekend. Headed back to the lake. You know, it's just that's going to be one of these spots right now. It just seems like the area that's happening more, and all the colors are kind of like starting to pop. It's crazy, dude, how much earlier. Yeah, like it's wild how much earlier this year the fall colors are happening. Like usually it's like October. Like I usually say around the 20th, like that week of the 20th of October is usually where it's like peaking out. To me, it's like pretty much peak now. Like I'd be surprised if we have some like, go ahead.
I got a question for you. Have you looked back at photos in the past to see the dates on them?
Oh, definitely.
Okay. All right. So that's cool. Cause I'm telling you, dude, I can't tell you how many times, like, especially like with wildlife, you know, in every spring in New Jersey online, it'd be like, the birds are early, the birds are late, like one way or the other. And I would start looking at my dates, dude, and they're exact. I mean, they're like, within 2 or 3 days of when I photographed them last year, right? It's always the same. And it was the same with the fall colors, right? In New Jersey, when I used to live there, it was always like, everybody's like, oh, the fall colors. And I used to do family portraits, and they were scheduled for peak fall colors, right? And I'd tell everybody first week in November, and they'd look at me like I was insane, right? And I'm like, trust me. And we'd get out there, and first week in November, dude, year after year after year, same places, same trees.
Way.
Like it was always exact.
Oh, no
it didn't
way.
matter what the weather. It was like maybe a day or 2 off, but it was not enough that anybody would actually notice. But I think it's just like a thing that we all like want to pretend something is changing or different or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's why I ask. I'm like, is it really, or is it in your head kind of thing? You know what I mean?
Well, see, dude, I'm funny. Like pretty much, I think every month, like once the new month hits, I always go back like previous years and just look at what I've shot. Like, what did I do?
Oh, that's cool.
What could maybe I do different?
Oh, nice.
Did I hit somewhere last year that I forgot that I hit that actually was really well, like worked out really good, like it was a one-off thing. So I usually have it nailed down. And
do you look for the upcoming month?
Remember, like,
is that what you're checking, or you're looking at the same month from the past year, or a little both?
Same month. So like once October 1st hits, I look at that. So I'm like, what did I do in October?
You're looking for
like
October. I got you. Okay. So the upcoming month.
Yeah,
like
I'm looking at October. Yeah, and I might look at November as well, but I'm usually looking at October. So it's a lot earlier. Now, like with that said, like this year was a seasonally high, like dry year, really warm. So I'm like,
No doubt.
maybe that's played a factor. So it has been a bit of a different year. So yeah, like, dude, like I'm telling you, I think like by the 20th, like into that, if we get some high winds, like a lot of our leaves are going to end up falling down. Like it's definitely early.
Well, at least you're having the time to get out there and enjoy it.
Which I'm not complaining.
Yeah, right? You're getting it.
Exactly. Well, to be honest, dude, like I almost wish it was later or extended, because a lot of our like ducks and like the better looking ducks, like
they're not
coming out
back.
of that molt and looking, they're not fully back yet. So I almost wanted to extend into November, but anyways.
Yeah. But it is pretty cool playing with these shorebirds that you haven't as much in the past with the colors.
Definitely.
So that's different.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Like even the semi-palmated plovers, like, so yeah. So I showed up at the lake, and again, it's one of these like beautiful spots that just like random stuff show up. So look, Canada goose, I know. Like
I love
when
it.
I used to live in Ontario,
I can't believe you shot it.
Stepped over these. I know, like pure, like you know, they're like gulls everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when I showed up, like I didn't even notice it at first because it was not on my radar, and then all of a sudden, like I just saw this like bigger, because it was all tucked in, so it was looking a little bit smaller. And then it kind of like raised its neck up. I'm like, oh crap, there's a goose there. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So anyways, spent a little bit of time photographing him. So got him just doing like a little bit of wing flap, and it was wild.
That's nice.
He stayed forever. Like, I mean, again,
of course.
Like I said, I usually go half an hour, 45 minutes before sun comes up, and I'm like, ooh, like I'd love for him to stay now, because all those grasses in the back, that gets lit up with like the beautiful orange, like golden tones. So I'm like, oh, this is gonna be nice. Like I'm gonna get like a really, dude, like I'm telling you, 30 seconds before that light hit that back, off he goes, swims right out to the middle, doesn't come back at all till like wait till like an hour and a half later when the light was like super harsh.
Isn't it wild, man? It's where it's like they know sometimes, and I know it's just coincidence, but it's hilarious how it works. Yeah.
And it was so weird because like at one point I think I shifted my position, and I don't know for sure this was it, but it was in around that time. And maybe it was because it was a little bit lighter, but I mean, their eyes got to be decent enough.
Yeah.
It was almost like he recognized that there was something there, because he kind of looked at me suspicious, and then he was like, yeah, I'm just going to like swim out here and like head out into the middle. I'm not sure what that was.
That's funny. Well, because, you also think like
you
could do whatever and they don't care because they're usually so tolerant of people, you know?
Exactly.
But like, dude, I saw them in Nome. You couldn't get anywhere near them. Get anywhere near them. When you get like wild Canada geese, it's crazy. Let me call them Canadian geese just to piss off all the birders that say that's not it. I'm in a mood today. Yeah. It's gonna be a fun episode.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be good. But so I mean, they breed here in certain areas. So even like in Terrenceville, I've tried to photograph them like on their breeding areas, like on the ponds and stuff.
Yeah, the chicks are
same
super
thing,
cute.
dude. You pull up your vehicle, soon as the vehicle stops, they're gone. They either go to flight, start like booting it across the tundra, like they're super skittish, like they're not tame up here at all. So anyways, it was a nice shot. It was you know, nice to get the wing spread like that.
Green wing.
And so that's a male green wing. So like the females before that were hanging out. So now it seems like they've attracted a few males in the area. So this guy was in the area. He was a little more skittish. He wouldn't come like crazy close. But this was like one of those, like out of the corner of your eye, you spot this bird, like this duck going by, and just a quick shot.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
It'll get upgraded throughout the season. We know that. This light is beautiful. Yeah.
Oh, so dude, when these two, like I think it was like three, the semi-palmated plovers came in right when the light was kicking off. So this is just all like that beautiful reflected light. You know, birch trees on the opposite side of the lake just getting hit with golden tones, and then their leaves have changed. So so I belly crawled like right through the water with this one. Like,
did you?
Water was just coming
into
the chest waders. I didn't care.
That's it.
I was like,
we don't have time. We got to start the dry suit. Dry suit fun for Brad. It's another
too funny.
Another time.
But yeah, like it was so nice because like where this little guy landed, it was just this one nice little sliver of like golden light, just worked out perfect. So I was able to mess around with him.
I got a question on this one and this one, like both of them actually. I'll bring them up on the screen at the same time. Yeah. You know, like you went like heavy offset with these, right? They're like well beyond the thirds thing. I think like the thirds thing is, I don't think it applies a lot to me anymore. You know, it's kind of weird. Like there's sometimes where I feel like it makes sense, but I just feel like it would be too much foreground, like bottom. Like there'd be too much of that stuff at the bottom if you actually went third on that thing, you know?
And the thing is too, like there's such a, like you saw the picture that I showed on the last episode where it was just, you know, like that pond. So it's just that little sliver of like rock, grass that kind of is showing. So if I go down further, there was like not much. You might even get actually like a hint of the water as well. So I was like, I don't want really the water. So it's a very small amount to even work with.
Yeah.
So for me, like, dude, I don't know about you. Like, I've never been someone to be like, this got to be in this third of it, and this head got to be like, I just go by feel. Like, I'm making micro adjustments every time I'm looking through the camera. It's like up and down, right, left.
Yeah.
I'm finding all the things I want to kind of include, exclude, whether I want to go even deeper down. Like, I did shots where I actually pushed more foreground up to kind of make this even more dreamy look, but we're such a small bird and I wanted to showcase more of those fall colors reflecting. I was like, yeah, he was getting a little bit too lost. Like, I think there's certain birds like with those like little small, short, chunky little bird, like if you get it too lost in the foliage and it's a, you know, kind of smallish in frame, this is like a tight portrait for you, but like it just doesn't work, right? It just totally gets lost. So
yeah, no, it's just
to me it was about the color.
Exactly, right? Exactly. When you have all that color, it's just like, I don't know. I feel like I know some photographers use like have like a grid going in their thing. I don't know if there's thirds grids in the cameras or not, or if it's just like a grid, like a small grid. But but then same thing in post. Like, you know, you just saw I had that grid up on there, the thirds grid showing on that image, and it was like, you know, the head was nowhere near the intersection of that. I shouldn't say nowhere near, but it was well past it. And I fully agree with it. You know, like it feels well balanced. It feels appropriate for the image. It feels appropriate for showing the color, you know. And so I'd be curious, you know, anybody watching, if it seems too far off for you. I mean, it is personal preference, of course, with all this stuff, but it just, I can't help but feel like for anybody that would be trying to fit this into that third grid thing, that it would just kind of like throw it off in a way. And so
I think so.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't even use the grid at all. I haven't for years because of that reason.
Yeah. I don't think I ever got into any of that. I think, dude, like if we do get a chance to dabble into that topic we were thinking about doing, like the whole technical side of stuff, I think for me, ever since I picked up a camera, it's just been by feel. It's just really just like how I feel about stuff and just going in the moment kind of thing.
Living everywhere.
So like I went, of course I had to go a little bit vertical, try to get a little bit more of the orange, you know what I mean? To really accentuate and show off those colors in the back.
Nice,
and then at one point they kind of walked out onto these kind of like rocks. So I did a little bit, you know, the light was, I'll say a little bit harsher at that point. It wasn't too bad, but I guess that reflected light can get pretty intense looking, like the yellows can. So it's just, you know, sometimes it can get like, I don't know, not as pleasing. So I wasn't sure about this.
I agree with you. Like you can see the difference there, right? You know, and like I think that's the thing. Like, listen, if you only saw this light on the right, if you walked up at that time and only saw that light, it'd be like, yeah, it's amazing. And the colors are great. And I love it. I think the intensity of it is good, but it's nowhere near as soft as it is on the left. You know, I shouldn't say nowhere near. That's an exaggeration, but it's not. It's not as soft. There's a difference there. And I think that's, you know, worth pointing out and talking about for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, you're talking like 5-10 minutes in difference, but you know, I think on that particular day there wasn't much cloud cover at all. I think it might even be just like a full-on sun kind of day. So like within no time it's getting intense. Every minute kind of counts with this stuff, I find.
Yeah. Exactly.
But I wasn't sure at first about that like kind of hard black line in through. I kind of wish it was a little bit cleaner looking or something, but it was still interesting. I think it's got some
and I love the
and
reflected stuff too. Like it's like added texture in the bottom, which is really cool. That's pretty lighting. Definitely. See, and that's it. Like this bird like is soft, a little bit not lighter than the plover, but he must have walked in a spot. He's just catching more light from somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Well, he's actually not as far out onto the rocks. He's actually coming in towards where I am.
Yeah.
So he's like right on the edge of like shade and light.
Yeah.
So he's just getting the perfect amount.
Yeah.
No real harsh light hitting him and all the lights
Totally.
in the back.
Yeah.
So yeah. So anyways, this dude just kept on coming. So he walked across this little rocky area.
Can see.
Got out into the so there's like a stream that runs into that lake. So at one point there is like a little spot that's actually fairly deep. Like when I walked into it, it's like goes right up to your knees super quick, and then it's like 2 feet away, and then it's like just over my ankle kind of thing.
Oh wow.
So anyways, so he just kept coming, got out into the water. So if you go to the next picture,
God, I just need to enjoy like the light on that. It's so nice, man. I love the soft catch light on that
Super
and everything.
soft.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so great.
Right? It's just goofy. Like I love like these head-on shots. It's so tough to get them like perfect, but when you do, it just makes them look so goofy. All birds look super different and goofy looking.
And I know there's no time to do it, but like if there was more space, I feel like this would work for a vertical composition, but the vertical crop on this would make it feel so cramped because you shot it so tight just to fit the reflection in. You know what I mean? So, but if like whenever I see any bird that is remotely tall and I'm dealing with a reflection, if I can, if I get the moment to go vertical on that, it just like fits it so much better. Don't you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But it is nice the colors there for this one, and it's
it was just like more showing that off again.
Yeah, right. It's so pretty, man.
Yeah, it was super fun.
Yeah,
and then so same sequence. As soon as he came out, he turned and started going right in front. Like this is like right on the edge of like out of focus or just grabbing focus.
Yeah,
so
totally. Yeah,
it was fun.
Have you ever had that? My eyes aren't good enough in the viewfinder to like notice that little bit, and so I've had it where I've been inside minimum and I can't tell, and I just keep shooting, and I didn't notice enough. Like, and if I would have seen it, if my eyes were better, I would have like just done that little lean back because it's an inch or two.
Oh, it is.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
I've had that.
Yeah. I've had that a couple
like,
times.
Son of a, you thought you're getting all these killer shots, and they're all like just a little out.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So
those are killer.
Yeah.
Man.
So that spot, that's gonna be. I'll hit that lake a bunch of times now for the rest of October. It's like I said, the colors are prime. There's different stuff. Oh, I'll tell a little story. So during this morning, a birder that I know, he showed up just, it's usually like an hour and a half if I do run into someone. It's well after like the prime light happens. It's usually when I'm actually leaving. So this individual showed up. We're having a little chat or whatever, and we got on talking about soras. So they're a bird there's very few around here. There are a couple spots where we think they're breeding, and people do catch glimpses. It was a bird I've never photographed, so we got on talking about that. The next day, the weather was decent. I don't know why I didn't. Oh no, it was a work day. That's what it was. It was like a Monday or something. So I'm like, you know what? It's just gonna be too rushed. I'm gonna be too late getting back. I'm not gonna go. Anyways, dude, someone reported that morning, 8:00. They posted into this like birding group I'm in, and they're like, oh, there's a Sora at the lake. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, what are the chances? Talking about it, and then the next day there's one at this lake.
That's funny.
So I'm like, yeah, it's just fun. Like I said, it's a great little fun spot. You don't know what's going to show up, and the light is fun. It's just a great place to play around.
Absolutely, dude. Yeah, no, and I like the diversity and variety so far. You know what I mean? Like it's not the same shots as the last week, and I guess that's the nice thing too about this changing time of year. I mean, you could take the exact same shot and it's going to look different. The colors are going to be different and that sort of thing.
Definitely.
And it's so rare to get the exact same lighting set up day after day. So there's always like subtle variations in that. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
But dude, like, wow, killer. Back to the backyard, man. I love it.
Oh, dude, I don't know. So I've been against like, I did this. I think most people when they start out doing photography, like it's like, why not do birders like that are in your backyard around a feeder? It's easy. There's so many around or accessible or whatever. And, I did it in the past, and I've always hated the fact that I felt like when I came away from them, I was like, I sat on a lawn chair and like had a stick put up, and it just felt too not fake.
Oh, it's
to me.
too easy for Brad.
I felt,
oh, okay.
yeah. Well, I think that's what it was. It was just that there was like, it felt like I wasn't putting a lot of effort or thought. Anyways, so.
But there can be.
My
That's
wife
the thing.
this year. There can. So when I think this is where I was kind of like leading into it. So
Yeah.
So my wife's been feeding, the Blue Jays throughout this year and really enjoying them. She loves getting up early in the morning with her tea and just, watching them from our kitchen.
Listen to their
just
beautiful sound. They're all obnoxious and squawky.
Oh, right. I know, right? Real
They're
obnoxious.
stunning birds, though.
And they are. Yeah. I mean, and it's unfortunate, dude. Like, they're so, and I think you've said this in the past, they're so hard to get outside of a feeder location.
Yeah.
Impossible. I've tried a few times. Man, they are tough.
Yeah.
And then it's like, even if I do get it outside, everyone's going to be like, got it near a feeder, I bet, or whatever, right? It's like one of these stigmas, like just like kingfisher and stuff.
Totally.
So, so anyway, I can't remember why. All of a sudden, it just like dawned on me. I'm like, oh, I think it was like one night I saw the light hitting. We have like a Japanese maple, and it's just this gorgeous, like ambery, like, so you see it in the back.
Yep, right in
so
there.
I'm like, could I make something work here? I'm like, maybe I'll just try. I'll play around. So anyways, so I think that on that particular evening, the light had died out and it was just an overcast. So I came away with that one portrait. And I'm like, that's nice. Like, it's a nice, just clean portrait. Background was really nice. And I'm like, but there's something I know if I get the right light, I bet you there's a little bit more to kind of play with. And it's funny because that setup, with the patio, if you just go back to it for a second. So I'm actually on the opposite side of it on a little step ladder, one of those 3-step ladders, because my lawn slopes down a little bit. I'm not tall enough to kind of at first. So I'm like up on this little ladder. I'm like, people must like my neighbors must be like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah.
So anyway, I got the nice portrait clean. Next night, beautiful. Like you could see it was like that thin kind of cloud.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be perfect for light. So anyways, I went out and I actually removed the stool. So that front of that railing was like kind of in my way a little bit.
Oh, nice.
So what I actually did is use that to kind of blur things out to get a little bit of a blur.
Yeah.
And then kind of use the side of like the gazebo railing that was coming down, one of the posts to just kind of create a little bit of foreground, but then it kind of tweak the shape of the bokeh balls every so often. So I just played around. So it was just a blast to get like the colors that were coming in through. Like
that's
like, yeah. It was. And I'm like, you know what? I'm like, okay. So there was a lesson to be learned. I think for me, it was like, okay. I've always was thinking about like the feeder setups as like, set up your little stick, make it pretty as possible, get your cleanest background, job done. But I'm like, you could, if you've got an interesting backyard, you've got a bunch of foliage around, trees around, you get the light coming in, you really could have fun and play around. And I think I'm changing my tune on this, that I think if a beginning photographer could 100% take advantage of this to learn light, to learn angles, to learn like even foreground stuff, elements, and play around. And because like even the subtlest change. So like if you go back to the patio shot just for a second, so those first 3 shots is right from what you're looking at here. So I'm using that railing in the foreground, dipping down, using the Japanese maple in the back. Sun was coming just a bit above that. So you're seeing just a kiss of the top of that Japanese maple that's getting a little bit of light. Rest is in shade, so it's creating this nice spot, giving a good rim light on him. Once the sun shifted more to the right, and I was kind of done, the light wasn't hitting Japanese maple top leaves anymore because it had shifted over and the angle was a little bit. I'm like, oh, well, there's a little gap. So I literally just made like maybe 2 steps to my left. Now I'm shooting through our actual maple tree, whatever you want to call it, just a regular maple. and the sun is coming through, and that's how I got the last 2 shots.
Nice.
So now I'm actually just like using the sun coming through, peeking through, and just getting some beautiful rim
Stunning.
lights. That's like when it was like almost dipped too far down, so you're getting a bit more of exposure on the bird there a little bit. So it was fun. I mean, it was just, I was like, I can't believe I'm doing this on a feeder. I never.
Yeah, but then it turns fun.
I'd never do it, but it did. I did. I had a blast, and like the first shot that I did, I was having fun doing it. And when I looked at images, I'm like, yeah, they're just a portrait. Like,
I agree.
Yippee. Like, you know what I mean?
I agree.
Great portrait.
Yeah.
But I was just like, and even after I edited, I'm like, I'm not sharing this. This is stupid. And then when I saw the light, I'm like, okay, well, don't give up. Like, let's play around. Let's dip. Let's try a bunch of different angles and just kind of see. I
love this one a lot too.
I mean, like that one there, I love that.
Yeah.
That's my.
Yeah.
That was my favorite. The mix of colors, the rim light on him,
Totally.
just that curious kind of like,
Yep.
really,
Absolutely,
really
man.
enjoyed that one.
Yeah. No, I think, dude, I've done it enough. I've had jobs where I've been photographing feeders for companies, but then I get to photograph the stuff around it. And I don't know, to me, there is something fun and creative about that process of having control over it all and being able to figure out and dial in exactly what you want. You know what I mean? Whether that be like the clean shot or, I mean, like look at the diversity there. You know what I mean? Like they're all beautiful, and I agree with you. That first one is, it's a beautiful shot, but it's, for us kind of boring, we would say.
Yep. Definitely.
But like, then you evolve that really quickly into some incredible stuff, and like, damn, that last shot is just on fire with a beautiful pose. Like, it's just, it's beautiful stuff. And I had a mentorship student of mine this past winter that, just basically was saying like, I don't have a lot of time to go out this winter, so I just kind of want to work on some backyard stuff. And they wanted to really just perfect it. And I mean, we just worked on it, and they really wanted to do like birds in flight coming into the feeder, right? And it just cool. Like, wow. But then really freeze it, right? So it evolved. Like by the end of it, he had 2 flashes going, and like just killer stuff, dude. And like, it was so funny. Like the first month, I was like, okay, there's 1 or 2 in the mix here. You got lucky on some, and there's potential, but let's try this. And it was just that reiterating and practicing. Dude, by the end of it, he was basically like, I can nail like a bird, like coming in flight if I want anytime. Like it was down. It went from, I don't even know if I can get any shots. Maybe I want to try and get something, to like just such confidence in being able to like nail that shot, because he knew the behavior, where they were flying in from, which tree, the angle they like to come in, the background that he could get, the different time of days to shoot, like all this stuff. You know what I mean? And it was just like, what a great learning experience overall. Plus you get all these killer photos and just a ton of time to go do it, because just like you did, you just pop right out in the backyard anytime.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, and like I said, and it's all translatable to in the field when you're out like in the woods.
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, I'm sure he's not going to be taking all these flashes and doing all that, but potential chance if he did come across something that he could. I mean, he's got all that knowledge like that he can bring forward. So
and skill set, great. Right? Just like that's composing, what I mean. Just tracking, finding, totally. And definitely. When you can control a set, I feel like there's almost a little bit more. It's definitely a faster way to learn, right? Because you're realizing like, oh, when I put this in the foreground, this is what happens here. And then you can just keep repeating it over and over again and dial it in. Whereas sometimes out in the field, especially beginners, you achieve something good, but it's kind of a happy accident and you're not even 100% sure of why. You know what I mean? Like you have a vague idea, definitely. But it's not really concrete in your head. Whereas doing something like this, especially just playing around with your railing there, which, it's great that you shared this and then show like what it looks like when you put stuff in there, because so many people would never think to dip down and put any of that stuff in the foreground when in the backyard. You're just going to shoot the cleanest shot possible. And this really shows that's maybe not the best way to go.
Well, and the thing is that like I still have that like newbie tendencies to like when I first approach a scene or approach thing, it's like cleanliness. Don't put anything in front, and that's what I did with the J at first. Like first, evening I shot, it was all about like standing up on a step ladder, getting super clean, like nothing in the way. And then I was like, okay, well, I'm still getting the same thing. I'm like, okay, use it. Like put it in front, like move the lens up and down in different angles, focus. So I pre-focus on that little feeder thing we have there. And then I would just move my lens around and just see what was interesting. Where was the light catching? And it's something I tend to do a lot, and I need to stop doing, is to always shine away from putting all this stuff in front right from the get-go.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's hard. Sometimes you got to just achieve focus and, just get exposure and everything. And the cleanliness helps with that. I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's any times where I go immediately to the foreground. I mean, it probably happens, but I think that's just a standard approach, but
gradual.
Yeah. And I think it tends to happen fast though. That's what I think changes over time, right? Is, you get that shot right off the bat and then you're looking around, and then all of a sudden you realize, oh, I can play with this right here, and you just know it's going to do something interesting if you see it around. But it's a great segue into talking about something else that happened to me this past week. I put out a follow up to the animal eye, bird eye focus thing. Which is just, I mean, it's still mind blowing to me, how concretely evident it is in that video. And for anybody who hasn't watched it, check it out. It's just it's the same bird, not moving, same scenario. I switch back and forth between bird eye tracking and animal eye tracking, and animal just nails the head and eye every time from much further away. And so I don't get how anyone can argue it at that point, right? It's it's video evidence showing it, but good old internet can argue anything, right? And so there's a million excuses and questions, and I'm all for it, right? Because honestly, I'm looking to get more answers on this because it doesn't logically make sense to me why animal eye tracking mode is working better on Nikon cameras for birds, it just doesn't make any sense, right? Go ahead.
No, so I was wondering because a lot of the footage or whatever that I was seeing, or when you've done the tests that I've looked at, your tendency is smaller in frame kind of stuff, or what we consider small in frame. Have you tried a close-up bird that's really filling the frame?
Yep.
And see if there's any major differences there?
No, then there's no differences. Yeah. In fact, I showed it in that video, right? When I went to a closer gull that was kind of filling the frame, switching back and forth, they both do an amazing job. And so at that point, again, I'm all right, cool, bird's working fine here, but so is animal. So what the hell would the point be of switching over to bird?
Exactly.
Right? If the animal is doing that mode, great. And so anyway, all the comments on YouTube have been great. It's just some pushback, which I'm fine with, by the way, keep that coming, asking questions, and a lot of the times it's you can tell somebody didn't watch the whole video because they'll ask a question. I'm yep, I did that in the video, because the first assumption of most people is, well, restrict it. You're using 3D mode, which uses the whole frame, right? So restrict it to the wide area box, the large box or the small box. And so that was the biggest sort of suggestion I got the first time I did one of these videos. And so I was all right, I'll do that this time. And so I did, and lo and behold, it just did the same exact thing. Animal still worked much better, and it didn't make any discernible difference that I could tell in those scenarios by going, narrowing it down to a smaller box. Some people have even suggested use auto, where it's just let the camera pick anything. Same thing there, didn't notice the difference, right? It's using the same algorithm on the same frame. I can't imagine why one would work better than the other. No. Other than if you're doing birds in flight and tracking a lot of action, I understand that box would narrow down what the camera is trying to find something in. And so I think it's going to work better in that scenario. And in my experience, it has. I do find better results with birds in flight with the wide area large box, with fast moving subjects, and just catching the background less kind of thing. But anyway, I don't even remember how I found out, dude, but I found out that somebody shared the video on the Backcountry Gallery forums. So Steve Perry's website, Backcountry Gallery. Yeah. And dude, it's been a long time since I've been on a photography forum. And it's insane to me. It's absolutely
really?
insane to me. I couldn't help it because as soon as I found out, I'm like, oh, I'm curious to see, you know. And
of course.
The first things are like, oh, he's just sharing this to get ad revenue. Like, no kidding. Like, yeah, I put ads on it. Like, that's why not make some money on this? That's a no-brainer. So not going to argue that one. Like, why wouldn't I? No. But that was not the only reason I did the video, you know. And then the second thing that was repeated over and over again is like, and I love this. Well, the birds are so far away; it's a useless photo anyway. I wouldn't even take that. So who cares? You know? And I'm like, listen, number one, I was not going to get involved at all in these conversations, right? No. But I'm like, I don't know, maybe look at any photo contest recently and see that like the vast majority of the photos are all small in frame, like smaller in frame than I was shooting in this circumstance, right? But it's the concept of like these photographers, right, that only want that, you know, and they're like, oh, that bird's out there, like it, so therefore it means nothing, you know. So it's just like immediate dismissal there, which, you know, listen, I used to judge this that way, but now I get it, you know. Like if you want to show off detail and it's all about this, then cool, go for it. I don't care. I try not to judge, you know. But just and here's the part, right, that really stood out to me is like glancing through this forum, and then I found other posts that people had shared other videos of mine in there, and it's just the same thing repeated over and over and over again, right? And I'm guessing, I don't have the stats on this, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's all a bunch of middle to older aged men in there just getting so technical, dude. One person, Brad, is talking about like, and I don't even remember exactly, but along the lines of like, well, the way the photo sites pick this up and blah blah blah, and this algorithm, and I'm like, are you kidding? Like, you've lost photography at that point. Like, you've lost photography. And I know this focus video I put out is more on the technical side. It's talking about the technical side of how this camera is operating. But the whole point is like in the evolution, or like, not, what am I after here trying to say? That technical video that I put out is all in the chase of how can I take a better photo? Which mode here is going to do that? Exactly. Not diving into such technical minutia that like, dude, it just comes across as like, I know this, let me share that. I know that. It's just like one-upping knowledge over and over again on the forum, and all of it has nothing to do with photography at a certain point, you know? Like, it's just it's
you're getting too far away from it.
It's just so far in the weeds. Wow. And listen, it's cool if you are into that and you like nerding out to that level, but at the same time, I feel like reading these forums, it's like I'm not judging them for getting that nerdy on it. I think they just have disconnected from why get that nerdy on it. Like, sure, get that nerdy on it in the pursuit of a great photo, but like not just to sit there and just talk about it over and over again. And again, I'm being judgy here because I'm just also assuming that like half of these photographers probably aren't great photographers either. That's just an assumption on my part. I didn't actually go look at anybody's profile or look at their photography, but just past experience tells me that the more somebody is digging in on all this technical stuff, the more standard and boring their photography is. They just seem to go hand in hand. It's a judgment on my part. I shouldn't be doing that, but that's my experience.
Yeah, and maybe it's not so much like not as great of a photographer, but maybe not more on that like creative, artistic, looking for unique perspectives. They're more still focused on like the bird, the feather detail, like making sure you can count all the feathers. Like, I think there's that side of usually it seems like those people, that's where they fall into.
Absolutely. And I think there's merit there, right? If that's what brings you joy, that's fine, right? But I guess the other side of it is like, I just glanced through some of this forum, right? And in that little bit of time, I spent maybe 20 minutes on there. And I instantly realized if I were to try and engage any of this is hours of my time. Hours of my time trying to debate and argue and prove a point and all this stuff. And I'm like, dude, my time would be spent. Number one, I don't have any free time right now because of this project. But even if I did, I'd rather be out in the field shooting and making my photography better that way. But I mean, the thing
is, for me, it's like, what argument is there to have? Because I mean, the way I look at it, if animal eye tracking is doing just as good as bird, right? Whether the subject's small, like further out or close or whatever, but it's doing just as good, let's say, and we know it's doing even better, why not have it on animal? Because if a deer walks by or a fox pops out, you're already in animal mode. There's no switching. Because like we're always looking at like the shortcuts. How can we get to the menus quicker? How can we do this? Like it's all about quick reaction. Yeah. How can we? Yeah, exactly. Like how can we react to a situation? Not fumble through settings. Well, if animal eye tracking is working just as well on birds, and like I said, we know it's working better. You've done the test, and I've played around enough my own self. Like, stay on animal then. Like, there's no argument in my books. Like, it's just because it's going to give you more potentials. Now, like I said, I don't even think about it. Fox strolls out. Yep. Oh, there you go. Don't have to switch anything. Just point the camera and way to go. Like, I have no questions anymore. So, yeah, it's silly. I think some people too, like, and you see that in all genres of like everything. There are always those like more technical people that just love knowledge and love soaking it in. And I don't know, like it almost like makes them feel a little bit better because they're like, yeah, but the blah, blah, blah. And they're saying words you have no clue about, talking about tech. It's like, what? Okay, you're over there. We're over here. Like we're talking about this just to achieve, you know, like I said, the best images possible with the less amount of time, less fooling around. Like to me, I don't think there's an argument for bird, but anyways.
And there's always like, and it's such internet culture, but it's human nature, right? There's always this like, in order for me to be right, you have to be wrong kind of thing. And like, I try to never put my videos out like that. I'm just like, I'm not trying to say nobody should ever use bird mode. I'm trying to say, and I hope it comes across this way. I'm trying to say, here's my experience. Look at this. Try it out for yourself. See what's happening for you. Yeah. If you try it in your scenarios with whatever gear you're shooting with, whatever Nikon camera and lens setup and type of bird photography you're shooting, and you try what I'm showing, and the bird mode still works better, use the bird mode. Of course. Like if you're finding it using that works better, use it. But at least give it a shot, right? You know, and a wonderful example, our great friend Jamin, you know, as I was making this video, I shared in our group chat with him, you know, have you guys been doing, you know, experimenting with this at all lately? And you came in and said, you know, I've switched to animal since you talked about it and have been comfortable there. And Jamin right off the bat said, the bird mode has been better for me by far, right? And then the next day, it was 1 or 2 days later, and this is perfect, right? He had his opinion and his experience, but he's open-minded. Yeah. And he's willing to listen. And he goes, I was out, he shared the story. He's like, I was out photographing a swan and bird mode wasn't working that good. I switched to animal, worked like a charm. He's like, so I'm glad I did. There you go. That is my goal. My goal is to just say, hey, photographers, this is what I found. Check it out. Try it out for yourself. And listen, there's got to be some scenario where that bird mode is working better. I'm sure there are. You know what I mean? But like,
the in-flight.
I think it's probably going to be the in-flight thing. It's just hard to test that, and I just haven't had an opportunity.
Yeah, it is.
But like, just try it out. You know what I mean? I don't care which mode is better personally for me. I don't care if it's bird or animal. I just want to use which one is better in the scenario I'm working with. And I guess the knowledge that's helpful there is like, I'd like to understand more which one is better and why, because it doesn't make sense to me. Like Nikon, if you put a bird mode on there, why is it not better for birds in all scenarios? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And so that's just confusing, but it doesn't have to be an all or nothing. It doesn't have to be, I'm right, you're wrong, blah, blah, blah. It can just be like, all right, thanks for the info. I'll try it out. But there's so many people that want to just like immediately shut down what I'm suggesting. And there's a bunch of comments that I get that are just like, my experience is the exact opposite. Bird mode's better. And I'm like, can you share any more context there? You know? Like, because just saying that doesn't mean anything.
Watch your scenarios.
Because I don't think you can watch this video. I didn't doctor it. It's the camera working in the real world and just say bird mode works better, because that's false. Because it wasn't in that scenario that I was showing. And in a bunch of them that I've recorded and showed. If you can record something and show it back to me, that would be helpful. But I understand most people don't have the capability of recording through their viewfinder, right? So we just have to take their word. But it's like, if you can't back it up with some kind of proof, or explain a little bit, what's the point of that comment? You know? Like, other than just going like, I'm right,
and like
you're
again,
wrong. Like, what does that do?
Yeah.
It's not a conversation.
I'd be willing.
It's
I'd be
useless.
willing to bet that most of those shots, that whatever they were working on, was something that was frame filling close. You know what I mean? Like,
And did
they're
they
that
even
type of
try? How many
photographer.
of us are out there and it's nailing the focus, and you start switching back and forth? If it's
No.
working, why would you?
No.
Right? So then you would just say
Exactly.
bird mode is
Yeah.
working better. I get that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we started noticing this, you and I and me and Emily, because we do shoot smaller in frame, and we were like, wow, it's missing here.
Yeah.
And just let's try something else. And, you know, I've done it with people out in the field. I've been shooting and they're like, it's not working that good. And I'm like, try this. And they switch over. They're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And so a bunch of different
what a
people,
difference. Yeah.
different gear, different scenarios, time and time again, there's something to it. So, you know, for everybody that just is like closed-minded and shooting the video down, all I ask is like, just open your mind and try it. And listen, if it doesn't work any better, stick with what you're doing. That's fine.
Yeah, just go back.
You know?
Yep.
But dude, the form thing cracked me up. It cracked me up, man. I'm like, I can't believe how much time and energy is people spent in these things just trying to prove each other wrong or they're themselves right. You
Wild.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
Yeah,
like,
you'll always find those people.
yeah. And I guess, I don't know. And, you know, I shouldn't be as judgy because I'm doing the same thing that I think is being done to me, you know? So I try to be more open-minded about it and be like, all right, so what is the advantage of diving in that deep on the technical side of things? Because, you know, you and I would agree, to do the photography we like to do, there is a certain level of technical understanding and like technical proficiency and habit making that you have to do to be able to change your settings really quick, right? So I don't ever want people to think like I'm saying ignore the technicals altogether, because that's also wrong. You can't just ignore them altogether. I feel like you got to work on them to enough to get to a certain level. But once you're there, anything beyond that I can't understand the helpfulness to it. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
It certainly does. I equate it to, like, in my head, it's almost like going out in the field with like 6 lenses.
Yeah.
Like if I could use this lens. Oh, I'm going to fumble with this. I'm going to fumble with that. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Like, keep it simple, keep it narrow, achieve your goal, know the knowledge enough to achieve it. There are potentially quick ways or a different way to do something, but if the way that you've learned, the knowledge you've gained gets the result you want, okay, like you don't need to necessarily, I don't know, like I said, fill your brain with too much, because I think then you're just fumbling around and you're, like it's just wasted knowledge that you don't need to have anyways, or it's like a one-off thing that you might change a setting at some point or do something a little bit different at some, you know what I mean? Like it's, I don't know.
Yeah, and like you said, right? If it is your personality that you'd like to understand and dive into that level and have that understanding and knowledge, again, I don't really think there's anything wrong with that. But if you're so focused on that you're missing how it connects to making your photos more interesting and creative, and I guess this is the point I didn't make yet that I wanted to kind of get across as well, is if you show non-photographers or any or other photographers that for that matter, most of the time if you show them a really beautiful photo, I don't think the first reaction is, wow, I can't believe how sharp and detailed every feather is and how much resolution you used and the way, like it's not a technical reaction, other than other photographers that are super into that, right? So there certainly is a small genre there, but show it to the general public. They're not going like, oh, I love how much, resolution you put on that bird in this frame and what ISO you chose and blah, blah. Like, no, they don't know. They don't know or care. But they can say, I like the feeling that I get from this photo, or the impression that I get from this, or the way the light hits this, or the color. Like all these other things that when you're so focused on that technical side of it, I think are missed. I think that's the potential downside of being so deep in the weeds on the technical stuff, is that you forget how to connect that into what actually makes photography or the final photos enjoyable. You know?
Oh, definitely. I agree. Like even when I think about like this Blue Jay kind of shoot that I did, like that first picture, in my head I was like, oh, clean portrait, nice background, like colors that kind of like, are pleasing to look at. And when I got it, I was like, yeah, it's a sharp, detailed portrait of a blue jay. Who cares? Like it right away, I was like, there's no interest, there's no like feel, there was nothing for me, right? Like it was like the first one was like a technically well taken portrait, shows detail, and I could care less. Like in my head, I'm like, I could care less. I need something else. So then when I started tweaking and getting the right light and playing around, I'm like, hell yeah, now here we go. And to me, if all the other three were like soft and like slightly out of vote and you couldn't get, who cares? Like I wouldn't care at all. Like if they, in that technical sharp sense and making sure everything was perfect, like to me, there was like so much more to look at that nobody would be like, gee, I wonder though if that blue jay is tack sharp. You know what I mean? Like
exactly. Like let's,
you know what I mean?
Let's
like,
talk about the detail on this. You nailed focus, but because you were shooting through foreground and dealing with lens flare, compare that detail to that detail. There's no question, right? The other one is so much more detailed. But what's more interesting to look at, right? And here's a great thing. Everybody watching right now, I have two things to ask, right? Which one appeals to you? You, the photographer, right? Number 1, 2, 3, or 4. Which one appeals to you the most? But then secondarily, if you can, separate from your decision, ask any family member that's around. Ask anybody that's nearby when you're watching this video that's not a photographer, that's not a proficient photographer, which one they like out of the set. I'd love to hear the responses on that. So if you can, in the comments, share which one you like, 1, 2, 3, or 4, and share which one non-photographers around you like. And the more of them you can find, the better. I think that would be a great experiment to see what does really start appealing to people, because maybe I'll be surprised. And listen, I'm willing to be open-minded there. You know what I mean? But I would be surprised if it's number 1 that gets the most pick from other people. But maybe we will be. Who knows, Maybe it is just we're so deep in the photography thing that
deep in the weeds.
That the standard portrait doesn't appeal to others outside of it. But I think I would even argue like this one might get more attention there just because it's got more interesting light to it and everything, and it still shows the bird off really well, and the background's kind of fun there. This starts to get into a little bit more of a creative bend with like just like more foreground blur, a little bit like less detail on the head, and then this one probably like the max. So I think it's a great set range, but dude, they're all close, like so they all fall into that kind of frame size genre, just very different lighting and
definitely
like atmosphere to them. But that would be an interesting thing to know, right?
Right? Yeah, definitely.
It would be.
Definitely.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, anyway, I guess I'll move on to talking about this Photoshop course and the craziness that
Having
is.
So much fun.
I mean, listen, here's the thing. I really am excited for this opportunity. I think it's going to be an amazing opportunity getting to partner with Journal of Wildlife Photography to share out this course with a bigger, broader audience. Also, I am excited to just update the course. The last one, I don't even know how long ago it was. I would guess 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know. It was quite some time ago. It was whenever the 400-2.8 came out, because that lens had been announced. I was like, in my head, I'm like, I'm going to save up for a year for this lens and really work hard and try and save for that lens because I really wanted it.
Oh, that's true.
I put out my Photoshop course and sold enough in a week to buy that lens.
Wild.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
But then the course kind of
that made it worth doing.
Yeah, no kidding. But it sat there. There was pent up demand initially for that course. Everybody bought it when I released it, and then it kind of just like slowly sold over the next 4 or 5 years, however long it's been.
Yeah.
But in any case, that course was in need of an update. I did my Lightroom course last year, or this past year, whenever it was, within the last year. I updated that one to the newer versions with all the new stuff. And the Photoshop course had been needing to be done. Now, listen, I don't use Photoshop as much anymore, but I still run every image through it, man. And like, I think and I've been trying to sort of wrap my head around like, A, should I do this project, this course, and B, can I do it with a good conscience, right? Because that stuff matters to me, man. Like, I didn't want to just do this, put this Photoshop course out and just do it just to try and make money, because the reality is, like, I use Lightroom for a vast majority of my editing now, you know, like way more than I ever did with Photoshop. And so I tried to really think about, like, what's the reason for someone to just come in and use Photoshop, like to pay money now and learn it. And it honestly doesn't feel right to me to put my name behind a course and charge money to people if it's not something I believe in, you know? Like, I think it'd be really morally messed up for me to, like, let's do this course and let's sell it and everything. And then in the back end, on my side, I never touched Photoshop anymore. Like, that'd be messed up.
It. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
it
that
would. I agree. Yeah.
It wouldn't be cool. And so I really had to, like, sit down and think about it, dude, because I was like, I started to feel like a little internal conflict on that of, like, is it okay for me to put this course out and charge people money when it's not something that I use that much? And then I started, like, thinking about it more and putting together, like, an outline for this course. And it's like, you know what, there still is something there, right? And there's a reason I still do myself, and this is no lie, every single image I share still goes through Photoshop. I still do a minor tweak at the end, right? And the reason is, like, Photoshop is the refinement, man. Like, that's what, it's just that extra, just make this image the best it can be. Like, Lightroom and Camera Raw are amazing. The AI masking is amazing. It really can do some great stuff, but it's still no substitute for the fine detail and fine tweaking and editing you can do in Photoshop. And that's why I still go there all the time. You know what I mean? And it's funny, like, the more I'm digging into this course, the more I'm realizing, like, the AI masking in Lightroom is good, or Camera Raw, right? But when you do it that same thing in Photoshop, it's like, ooh, Photoshop still it's got the edge. It still has the edge, right? Yeah. And I'm starting to compare some of these things as I'm, like, doing these lessons and kind of prepping them. And yeah, it's like, yep, Photoshop still got it. You know, it sure does. Like, I could say, sure, you'd be fine using Lightroom only. If you're a photographer that just wants to learn Lightroom and do only that, I think that's totally fine. But if you want to make your image the absolute best it can, I still have to say, look, my answer still is, like, the combo, like, you know, Camera Raw or Lightroom and Photoshop.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I still use Photoshop quite a bit, probably more than you know, sometimes I just get stuck in my old ways, and I'm just so, like, you know, I know how I want to kind of work my image and tweak and different stuff. And I just get stuck in that flow. I don't take the time to sit down sometimes and be like, okay, well, what's the new feature here? Can it eliminate what I'm doing or do it much faster than what I'm doing? Like, you know, obviously, like, some of the masking stuff and whatever, I'm doing that in Camera Raw. Like, it's fantastic. Obviously, I'm not, like, trying to, like, mask anything out in actual Photoshop. Like, that'd be crazy. But
I'm telling you, dude, you know, there's still, even the automatic stuff in Photoshop is doing the same thing, but it's so much better detail. Like, especially around, like, feathers and stuff like that. It's way more accurate in Photoshop than it is in Lightroom, in my experience now, or in Camera Raw. Yeah.
Camera Raw.
Yeah. Okay. The AI masking stuff, like subject select and everything, way better in Photoshop.
Oh, really? Yeah. I haven't tried it, like, actually once I'm in Photoshop. Yep. Okay, cool. I'll have to try it.
Yeah. But it was good to see that. Yeah, you know, it was good to be like, all right, I feel okay putting this out and putting my time and effort in behind it. And there is a reason for it. You know what I mean? And my goal will be to show everybody that reason. And, you know, like, it is a funny kind of interesting connection too to, like, that technical conversation we were having before. That's how I got into photography, man. I was the technical nerd. I learned Photoshop. All I did was wanted to do was Photoshop. I didn't even have a camera for a while. I was a working photographer, getting paid as a photographer for, I don't know, 2 years or so before I even, like, really started touching a camera. It was just Photoshop. That's all I wanted to do in the beginning. That's what got me into photography. And I mean, nerding out hardcore, diving into it deep. But here's what I've realized, right, is over the years, And I did the same thing with Lightroom. When that came out, I nerded out on it, and I dove in and got, all technical. I was making smart albums and doing all this stuff, and it's like, all right, it's cool, but you know what the reality is? Like, over time, when I let my ego go on knowing all this stuff and being able to implement all this stuff, the reality was there was a simpler way to do it that didn't require all that technical mastery. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, sure, it's cool I knew all that stuff, but over the years, it was like, let me simplify. It's all in the chase of making the best final image. And for me, doing it the fastest way possible. So it's always been that like balance, right? There's always been these scales for me when I do image editing of speed versus quality of the final output, because it's like you can take forever and get so zoomed into 800% and masking out every little feather and everything. But is it going to make a difference that's recognizable enough in the final image, right? Like that's the balance. And so for me, it's always been like, how fast can I achieve the goal of making this image look as best as possible, but it still looks clean. It doesn't look all chopped up and crappy masked and poorly edited. You know what I mean? And that's what's always been the refinement. It started out always on the side of more technical and more detailed, but took longer. And over the years has continually morphed into where I'm at now, which is, like I don't have to get that detailed in these areas, but I should here, because this matters when you do get this detailed, or if you don't, it's noticeable, or it leaves a weird edge or some artifact that's like not in the original photo and degrades the quality in a noticeable way, right? And of course, that's all my opinion. Other people might have should have different scales there for that stuff. I know a perfect example is like Jan Wagner. Like his Photoshop courses are just, dude dives in so deep, like way deeper than me, right? And like painting in details in areas that just don't matter to me, And I am not all saying that's wrong. That's his approach, and obviously it works well. Like super popular, people learn from him a lot. But I just think for my style of editing, it's not that way. And you are even more the minimalist, like I talk to you sometimes about like, have you tried this for removing this and blah blah blah, and you're like, I know, I don't even do that.
No, I don't.
I don't. And it's normal for me.
Yeah.
I
like I said, I've kept my stuff, and I guess maybe because I don't have a ton of time that I can find like to really sit down and edit images. Like I'm just fitting it in, in amongst my like everyday job, family stuff, help Lily with school, like, a bunch of million and one things. So I'm like, sit down. Okay. Boom, 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 pound 3 or 4 images out. Okay. Done. Walk away. Like I don't, it's funny because like you, like even before I got into photography, like I used to do like 3D art stuff, like making 3D models for like game, and I did like a movie thing one time. So like a lot of my stuff, like I learned Photoshop, but it was for a different purpose. And I got a little bit more technical, like way back when I was looking into a little bit more and using way more of the features and stuff. And then as I got out of that, and then things continually sped up and changed and new things coming in and stuff. When it came to my Photoshop stuff, I was just like, I'm just going to keep this as simple as possible. And, I'm like you and I, we're not super hyper focused on like the subject itself. For us, it's always about this mood, this feel, the light, the just atmosphere and everything going on, that like we're not zooming in. And like you said, like, okay, well, like the blue on that Blue Jay is not blue enough. Like that feather there needs to be a little like, because either the subject's too small to probably even do that. There's like no detail to begin with.
Totally.
Or it's just not on our radar because
it's not a priority. Yeah.
Like because even when I'm editing the photo, it's rare I'm like really looking at the bird. The most I look at the bird is like, are the colors accurate? Like, does it not have like some weird casting color from whatever scenario I was in? And is it exposed right for the scene that it's in? Right? Like, do I need to lift the shadows to give it a little bit more? Do I need to do whatever? But the rest of it is just the whole feel, the mood, the colors within the scene, everything else. So, I think it's just the way we view. Like, Jan Wagner, I know his stuff is like, it's more bird focused. Like, it's about all those beautiful details, and he does it so well.
Exactly.
And his stuff is great, but the focus is totally different than ours.
Yeah, totally, right? And again, right? Not saying any of those
No.
methods are wrong, right? Just like it's
Yep.
sharing our approach, our idea, our thoughts behind it, and I feel like I could say we safely fall, especially I'll speak for myself. I fall sort of in that middle ground there, right? I'm happy to get like a little bit detailed and do some stronger edits to make the image look good. Especially because like I'm fast at it. I've been doing it for, I mean, gosh, what it's 2025 right now, dude. I started learning Photoshop in 1999.
Oof. Wow. Yeah.
So I've been using
Crazy.
Photoshop for 25, 6 years.
Yeah.
Like that's nuts,
Crazy.
right? And
Yeah.
I got certified by Adobe as an expert in version 5.5, I think it was,
Oh, wow. It's like
yeah, so
26 now or something, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what the equivalent number would be that they're at right
true.
now.
That's
because
true.
they started changing their naming and everything, right? But we're talking like probably it was like early 2000s. I got, I went and got tested with Adobe to show that like I know this program in and out. And I love this thing. I love the application and all the stuff you can do with it. And I know all these things that don't really pertain to photography. But, like for album design layout and I've done all kinds of different things in my photography career. I work for architect photographers, and that was a totally different version or not version, but approach with Photoshop. That was the more, take 2 hours, 3 hours on an individual photo, making it look perfect. You know what I mean? So I did that kind of work. So I feel like I fall in a nice middle ground there, where I can show people the power of what can be done if you want to go further with it. But like, let's use it in a real world technique. And I can say this in all honesty, I can't remember the last time I spent more than 10 minutes on an edit. 10 minutes was a long edit for me. That'd be a long edit. If I took 10 minutes to edit a single photo, it's probably more like 3 to 4 minutes on average.
Oh, yeah. You're fast.
Like that's how long it takes to make these images look the way we look. And the other part of it I want to talk about too is I think there's such a big push, and I see it in the titles of videos and stuff like that that's shared on YouTube of like, rescue your photo, correct the thing that you did wrong, and blah blah blah. And it's like, wait, maybe take a better photo up front. Like,
exactly.
If you have like rescue in the title or like anything along those lines of like save your trashed photo or what, like or saving it, like isn't that the wrong approach? I'm sorry, isn't that the wrong approach?
Yeah,
it's not my approach.
It definitely is.
Oh
yeah, 100%. Yeah, and that's not the mindset that you want to go into, or
I don't think so.
Have people going out into the field to be like, well, if I screw this up, I can just
who
save
cares
it
about
with
the photography?
tool.
Yeah, like no, it is all about taking a great photo and turning it into the best, right? Like just improving it a little bit and pushing over that. And sometimes, some of the editing you and I do is required, right? Like we'll underexpose to maintain highlights in a backlit bokeh shot on purpose, knowing that we're going to pull the detail out of the shadows and stuff like that. That to me isn't like, again, it's not rescuing or saving a photo. It is simply just a thoughtful, like a conscious decision to shoot a certain way, knowing what the power of post-processing can do. But like I think that mindset is so incorrect, and I do, that's an important part of my approach to this is like, we're not going to use these tools to like fix all your mistakes. I mean, we'll fix the mistakes, sure, like, because no photo's ever perfect, right? But like, it should never be the first thought in your mind of, I'll just fix this in post. I think that's just it's not my ideal approach for sure,
No, and for me too is like I said before, I don't have a ton of time to be editing photos. So the last thing I want to do is like know that I'm out shooting and being, careless or lazy or not making adjustments in the field to then save me time. Like I want to be able to come in, sit down on my computer and be like, okay, I can edit these, pound a few out in like 10 minutes and I've got my edits done. Not like run it through this app and import it out and run it through this app or run this AI thing that would be like, dude, like I said, I don't even do like denoise, none of this stuff. Like I don't touch any of it because I'm just like, I don't want to have, my machine's older, so like I press that and I gotta go get a coffee.
It'd be like, nah, Brad,
and come
we'll just
back.
give you the finger.
right?
Smoke starts coming out of it.
Yeah. Exactly.
And the other thing too,
yeah.
Brad, is like, and I know you feel the same way. It's like if I also import a photo and I'm like, oh, this is going to need a ton of work to look good. I'm like, I got to go shoot it better. That's my first thought.
Yeah.
My first thought is never,
Definitely.
let me see how I can fix this in post and bring this back from the brink of trash. It's like, I did a bad job. I have to go shoot this better. Like that's just the way we think, So anyway,
I agree.
I'm excited about it. It's so much. It's a lot. And it's on a tight deadline. That's the biggest part there. Like if it wasn't for the deadline, it would be fine. But the deadline, and I said yes, so it's on me, and I know I'm confident I'll be able to do it. But I just know it's just taking every waking moment, and it's been a process. So that's what's
You'll get it done.
That's all I'm going to be talking about for the next few weeks on this show, dude. It's like I'm probably not going to be shooting at all. We do have I was just looking at our notes. We do have a fun what would you choose that came in from a viewer, like somebody that watched the show.
Nice.
And it's from Joe Fasig, Fasig, and I really like this one. So here we go, Brad. Would you rather have a limit of 36 shots for the rest of your life, but they are all sharp no matter what? Or would you rather have unlimited shots, but they are all noticeably soft? That's a really funny one. So you can only take 36 photos for the rest of your life, or you can shoot forever, but they're soft?
So that's 36.
Diabolical.
Like, that's 36. Like, not every outing. That's 36 for the rest.
I think it's 36 shots for the rest of your life. Yeah.
What? Oh, okay.
I know. That's why I said this is diabolical.
Because in my head at first, I was thinking like, okay, well, 36 every outing. I'm like, lately I've been like, I don't know what's on the go. I think maybe my fingers are getting fat or heavy or something because, dude, man, I've been hammering down on the shutter lately. It's just coming home. Like, even those Jays, now they were like active and flying in and like they're moving sporadic and stuff like that. And I'm like, how did I shoot 1,000 pictures? Like, anyways.
Yeah.
At least my culling's been on point lately, but
super fast.
Yeah, but yeah, so 30 for the rest of your life. Yeah. And then it's one of these things, like I always want to dive a bit more. So I'm like, what are we talking about blurry? Are we talking about like
noticeably
soft at 100%? So noticeably soft. Like noticeably soft.
I think that means you can tell it's out of focus. Yeah. That's what I'm going. Like how he worded it. He worded this great. This is good. There's one question though I have that isn't clear in this what would you choose? And that is do you get to take more than 36 shots, or it's like that's all you get to take? Like, can you take more and they don't count, or they aren't but I think he's just saying it's like you have like a limit of 36 shots, like, but they all are sharp. I have to go. I'm going soft. I'm going to be like,
I'm 100% going soft.
I'm leaning into the most dreamy vibe I can get, and really figuring out how to make out of focus photos work. I mean, I've shared some, so I've already done a couple on purpose out of focus. So
yeah.
Well,
I mean, you think like intentional movement, like blur, like in the wings and stuff like that for in-flight. Like you can get. I'd rather do that and get like artsy fartsy with it or whatever they say. Like I'd rather that than.
But never a sharp photo. It's a tough one. It's so funny.
It is tough.
I love this one.
Imagine only 36. Imagine 36 pictures.
But he had to put a limit on it, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
I get
the
it,
number you need like, even for the rest of your life to go sharp?
Oh.
I would go... what's the lowest number? I would go 500. I could go down to 500 for the rest of my life, and then you just shoot, like, you wait for the moment, right, and just click. There it is. Yeah, I think I could get down to 500. Hard. Then if it was at 500, I'd choose the sharp one over the soft one. But I think anything lower than 500, I'm going the soft one.
But the rest of your life, like, think of all the outings that like you do throughout a year, and just like, because then like. You'd have this amazing scenario happen in front of you, and you're like, but do I waste one of my shots?
That's
like,
true.
What if a Canada lynx, like
what
a lynx
walks
out in front of you with like a rabbit, or like, and you're like, oh, I just used my last shot.
Yeah.
Like, I can't shoot
that's
this
so
right
funny.
now.
That's a good one.
That's tough. It is.
That's one of the funniest ones
me,
yet.
Yeah, I really like that one. Yeah, I think I'd have to
you
go
what?
with the
What were you
blurry
gonna
artsy.
Yeah, that way.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds
That's
good.
cool.
Well,
That's a good one.
Everybody watching, what do you guys pick? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
And send some more. Send like more of those suggestions.
Oh yeah. If
Like
anybody
we're always
has
trying
any
to
of
come
these,
up with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, we love hearing other people's. That's cool. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome.
Drop them in the comments, and we just copy them and drop them in here, and we'll hit them again later. So yeah, let's get over to the hashtag challenge, which by the way, come on, hey guys, come on, share the wealth.
Yeah.
Use our hashtag. Come on. Yeah. I feel like it's slowing down, and also on the watch, share it with the audience. Come on, guys. We want to grow this show. Help us out. Everybody here watching.
Definitely.
Share it with all your friends. I'm not beneath begging, I'll beg for it.
No.
Let's get the show going. Anyway, so some great stuff. Last round was Shorebirds that we asked for.
Shorebirds. Yeah.
So that's the hashtag. And for anybody watching right now, if you're curious for the next one we're going to do, which is going to be backyard birds. That'll be the next wildlife photo chat challenge. We'll mention that again, but just the hashtags right over here. Okay, just wildlife photo chat challenge, all one word, on Instagram. Use that hashtag. Brad, you chose this one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a sucker for I keep talking about I don't like the portrait stuff, but I don't know, when the light is good like this, and I mean it's a woodcock, you don't get to see them. Well, I don't get to see them, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But you don't get him always out in the open. I guess he is kind of tucked away, but just that light, just the way. And dude, you know what's funny? At first, I thought I was questioning this person, but I'm like, is a woodcock a shorebird? I'm like, is it really? Because at first I was like, is this just mixed in amongst is this one of our ones where we did something about light or whatever, right? I'm like, I got to double check. I'm like, oh no, it is. Yeah, it's true.
Yep.
It fits into it sandpiper family or something.
I know, they're just so weird. Live in the forest and with the it's just, they're an odd shorebird for sure. Yeah. But they still do. I've watched them feed. They still probe the ground and they feed like a shorebird. Yeah, they're so bizarre, dude. Sniper weird looking, woodcock are extra weird looking, man. Yeah, the dance is hilarious too.
Yeah.
Well, and I've photographed and got to witness their courtship ritual, where they rocket way up in the sky, kind of like snipe, right? Except and then they come flying down, and their wings make the sound when they come down. From my understanding, it's not even a call. They come through the air so much that they get this vibrating through the wings that makes a sound on the dive.
Cool.
Yeah, it's super trippy, man. Really, really cool. But yeah, they're very related to snipe and behavior and everything like that. But yeah, the light on this I love, and I love that it shows off where they live and hide. I love that you can see the leaf litter around it and everything, but the spotlight is just on point. Absolutely.
Yeah, super camouflaged. Yeah, that light. I mean, God, how often do you get that? Not very often, where it's perfect.
No.
Just hitting the head like that. So it's a fantastic job.
Absolutely nailed it. Yeah. And is this, Joe, the same? I think it is, right? Is this? It's the name, right? Sounds the same. Is this who we just used? Yeah, there we go. This is who gave us the what would you choose? Yeah. Oh, he's getting double mentioned.
Didn't realize
on this episode. Yeah. Very cool.
Right?
I just happened to connect the username there. And then I went with this one from Mark Knoll.
This.
Yeah, just right up my alley, right? Just beautiful open space there. Shot it with an 85, which is really fun, just to kind of get that more open space dreamy effect. So going with the shorter focal length. Beautiful light. Love the time of day. The shallow depth of field, I'm assuming this is an 85 1.8 or 1.4 aperture lens.
Probably.
And that super shallow depth of field really still gives that 3D effect, makes the subject stand out. I love that the little piper is all still I'll be jeweled up. He's got the jewelry on, nice colors on the legs there, which is really fun. But yeah, gorgeous shot, man. Just sets a nice mood, and yeah, I dig it.
Yeah. It's funny because when I first started going through, that was the one that I picked. I'm like, nah, I'll let Ray grab that. I'm sure he would, because I'm like, that's Ray's style. That wide space is such a beautiful shot. And I think it's one of those shots too, even if it is a 1.8 or something like that, you still get all those details in the back. You get that as land small in the frame. Back, the water, everything. Yep. Yeah, it just works so well. Yeah,
totally.
Such a beautiful shot.
feels like it's like just the right distance for that lens, right? It gives the softness and dreaminess that makes the subject stand out, but you still get context. It's not so blurred, because that's the thing. I've done some shorebird photography with an 85-1.4 in the past, or the 135 that we have now. You get so close, it just looks like a telephoto lens. It's like, what's the point? It's like if you get them close enough in the frame,
it's so hard.
You're just making extra work to make it look the same as if you would have just stayed back and shot it with a 3 or 4 or 500 millimeter lens. So it seems pointless to me in those circumstances. But when you frame it like this, I think that's when these lenses really shine. So well done with that one as well. So yes, our next challenge for the next upcoming episode will be backyard birds, since Brad did so wonderful there and showed you guys some great approaches on that. So yeah, just share us your backyard birds. If you have some from the past, feel free to tag them. We aren't scrolling way back to choose these, so your best bet, if you have an older photo, is to repost it again, just so it shows up more recently, because like I said, we're just looking at more of the recent stuff here, and we'll go back a little, like a page or two here on our hashtag, but we're not going back forever. So if it's something you posted a year ago and you add the hashtag, we're probably not going to see it. So that's a tip for you. Just repost it, drop that wildlife photo chat challenge hashtag on it. I almost got stumbled on that one, but I made it through. And yeah, show us your backyard stuff. That'd be great.
And encourage you to go out and try, get creative with it. Like try to play with some foreground, background. Yeah, like, take that idea and just kind of run with it and see what else you can do. Yeah.
Totally, dude. Anything else you want to go over before we wrap up the show?
No, I think we're good, man. Yeah.
All right, look, hour and 20. I didn't have a single photo to show. We still can manage to do that.
Right. We can talk. Man.
Yes, we can. That is for sure.
Yeah, that's good.
All right.
Man.
Well, I'll be spending the next today's Thursday, so until Monday, we're meeting up with Emily's sister and brother-in-law, and my sister's driving up from Florida and North Carolina, and we're going to be doing some hiking, and it's a really good mountain bike area.
Nice.
So we're going to be doing a bunch of bike riding and everything. So that's actually that's the other thing, right? I got this trip mixed in with trying to record the stuff, so it's all just like chaos right now. But I am going to get that disconnect that we talked about just naturally in the next few days. Yeah. So maybe when I get back to recording, I'll be sane again.
Nice. Sane. That's all.
Well, I hope
good,
you have
man.
fun with the fall colors, dude.
Yeah, I will definitely. Yeah, for sure. I'll hopefully get out this weekend. Yeah.
Sounds good, dude. Talk to you next week. See everybody next week.
Yeah. Take care, everyone.